Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Today Journey. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to learn English every day, please remember to subscribe. I am very happy that you chose to watch this lesson. My name is Sarah, and I am really glad to see you today. Thank you for clicking on this video. I know you are here because you want to improve your English, and that is a great decision. Learning English is something very useful. It can help you in many ways. You can study better, travel to new places, talk to people from different countries, make new friends, and even get better job opportunities. English can open many doors in your life. But I also know that learning English is not always easy. Sometimes it feels very hard. Maybe you feel shy when you try to speak. Maybe you are afraid of making mistakes. Or maybe you listen to English and people speak too fast and you cannot understand them. If you feel like this, please do not worry. You are not alone. Many students feel the same way, and this is completely normal. I understand you very well because I have helped many students who felt afraid or confused when learning English. And I want to tell you something important. You can learn English too. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be very smart. You only need time, practice, patience, and a little love for learning. If you keep going step by step, you will improve. Today, we are going to talk about how to learn English in an easy and clear way. We will learn step by step, without stress. We will also do some listening practice together. I want you to feel calm and comfortable. Please relax. This is a safe place to learn. You do not need to speak like a native speaker. That is not the goal. The real goal is to understand a little more every day. So please sit back, take a deep breath, and get ready. Let us begin our lesson together. First, let's talk about listening. Listening is one of the most important skills in English, but it is also one of the most difficult for many learners. Why is listening so hard? Because people often speak very fast. They join words together. They use short forms like going to becoming gonna or want to becoming wanna. They also speak with many different accents. All of this can make listening confusing. When you listen, you may only understand one or two words. You may feel lost and think, I don't understand anything. But this is normal. Everyone feels like this at the beginning. No one understands everything on the first day. The good news is that listening is a skill you can train just like a muscle. The more you practice listening, the stronger it becomes. Little by little, you will start to understand more words, then more sentences, and then full ideas. So, how can we practice listening in the right way? I will explain it step by step. The first step is to listen every day, even if it is only for a short time. Even a few minutes can help. The important thing is to listen regularly and not give up. You do not need a lot of free time to learn English. You do not need to wait for a long lesson or a free weekend. Even a short time is enough. You can listen to English anywhere and anytime. You can listen while you're cooking, walking, cleaning your room, or sitting on a bus or train. English can become part of your daily life. You can listen to easy podcasts, simple YouTube videos, songs, or short stories. The most important secret is not how long you listen, but how often you listen. Try to listen a little every single day. When you listen every day, your ears slowly get used to the sound of English. You start to hear the rhythm and the music of the language. Even if you do not understand every word, your brain is still learning. Your brain learns patterns without you noticing. This is the same way children learn their first language. First, they listen again and again. Later, they start to speak. So please do not rush yourself. Learning takes time. And do not feel bad if you do not understand everything. Just listen, relax, and enjoy the sound of English. Now, let's talk about the second step. The second step is choosing the right listening materials. Many learners make the same mistake. They listen to native speakers who talk very fast, and then they feel sad or disappointed because they cannot understand. This is not your fault. It only means the material is too difficult for you right now. You should choose listening materials that are a little easy for your level. A good rule is this: you should understand about 70% of the words. When you understand most of the words, you can guess the meaning of new words. This helps you learn faster and stay motivated. If you understand nothing, you will feel tired and want to give up. So always choose stories, conversations, or lessons that match your level. For example, if you are at A1 or B1 level, you can listen to slow news, beginner English lessons, or easy podcasts. These materials are made to help learners like you. Now, let's do a short listening practice together. Please relax and listen carefully. You do not need to translate every word in your head. Just listen and try to understand the general meaning. Last Sunday, Emma woke up early. The sun was shining, and birds were singing outside her window. She felt happy and smiled. She said to herself, "Today, I will go for a walk in the park." She put on her shoes, took her phone, and went outside. When she arrived at the park, she saw many people. Children were playing and laughing. Some people were running, and families were sitting on the grass and having picnics. Emma found a quiet bench and sat down. She listened to the wind moving through the trees. The soft sound made her feel calm and peaceful. She enjoyed the moment and felt thankful for the beautiful day. Then Emma met her friend David. They were happy to see each other. They talked for some time about their work and their lives. They shared stories and listened to each other. After that, they bought ice cream and laughed together. It was not a special or exciting day, but it was a good and happy one. Sometimes simple days are the best days. Okay, that was our short story. Now, let's think about what we heard. Did you understand the main idea? Emma woke up early on Sunday. She went for a walk in the park. She met her friend, and they spent time together. It was a calm and happy day. That is all you need to understand. You do not need to remember every word. This is what listening practice looks like. You do not need big tests or long, difficult exercises. Just listen to short and simple stories. After listening, think about the meaning. You can listen to the same story again and again. Each time you listen, you will understand more. Repetition is very helpful. Another good idea is to use subtitles at first. For example, when you watch a video in English, you can turn on English subtitles. This helps you see the words while you hear them. It helps your brain connect the sound with the written word. After you understand the video, try to listen again without subtitles. This is very important. It helps train your ears. Slowly, you will depend less on reading and more on listening. Now, let's talk about pronunciation. Listening and pronunciation work together. They are like good friends. If you cannot pronounce a word correctly, it is often hard to recognize that word when someone else says it. That is why repeating is very useful. When you listen to English, try to repeat what you hear. Repeat words and sentences out loud.
Do not be shy.
No one needs to hear you. It does not matter if you make mistakes. Making mistakes is part of learning. When you repeat, you feel the sounds of English in your mouth. You also learn the rhythm of the language. You can pause a video, repeat one sentence, and then play it again to check your pronunciation. This exercise is called shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen and speak at the same time, or just after the speaker. It is a great way to improve both listening and speaking skills. When you listen, do not only listen to the words. Also listen to how people speak. Listen to their feelings. Do they sound happy, sad, angry, excited, or serious? This is called intonation. Intonation is very important in English. English is a language full of emotion. Sometimes the real meaning is not only in the words, but in the way the words are said. For example, if someone says the word really in a happy and excited voice, it shows interest or surprise. But if they say really in a flat or bored voice, it can mean they are not interested or do not care. So, when you listen to English, try to hear both the words and the feeling. This will help you understand people better and communicate more naturally. If someone uses an angry or strong tone, it can mean they do not believe you or they are upset. That is why listening is not only about hearing sounds. It is also about feeling emotion. Try to listen not only with your ears, but also with your heart. Good listening means paying full attention. Many people hear English, but they're not really listening. Their mind is busy thinking about other things. They may hear the sound, but they do not understand the meaning. To truly improve, you need to practice active listening. So, what is active listening? Active listening means you focus on the speaker. You try to understand the message, not just the words. You think about what the person is saying.
You guess what they might say next.
When you hear a new word, you do not stop and panic. Instead, you try to understand it using the situation and other words around it. This is called learning from context. Active listening is very powerful. When you listen this way, your brain stays awake and focused. You learn faster and remember more. You become more confident because you start to understand English naturally, not by force. Now, let's talk about making a good learning plan. Many students want to learn English quickly, but they do not have a clear plan. One day they study grammar. The next day they study vocabulary. Then maybe they listen to English once a week. This kind of learning is confusing and not very effective. You do not need a difficult plan. You only need a simple and clear routine. Just 3 or 4 small activities every day are enough. For example, you can decide that every morning you will listen to English for 15 minutes. It can be a podcast, a short video, or a story. In the afternoon, you can read something short, like an article or a few pages of a story. In the evening, you can practice speaking for 10 minutes. You can talk to yourself, repeat sentences, or describe your day. This is enough. If you do these small things every day, your English will improve naturally. Learning is not about studying 10 hours in one day and then stopping. It is about studying a little every day for a long time. Small steps every day bring big results. Also, remember to relax. Learning English should not feel painful or stressful. When you are stressed, your brain does not learn well. Try to enjoy the process. You can watch movies you like, listen to songs you enjoy, or read stories that make you happy. When learning is fun, your brain wants to learn more. Joy helps memory. Now, let's do a short listening and speaking exercise together. Please listen carefully and repeat after me. Say the sentences slowly and clearly. I like learning English. I practice a little every day. Listening helps me understand people. Speaking helps me share my ideas. I am not afraid of making mistakes. Very good. Remember, mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teachers. Keep listening, keep practicing, and be kind to yourself. Step by step, your English will grow. Mistakes do not mean failure. They mean progress. You are improving every day, even when you do not notice it. You're doing a great job. English learning is a journey, not a race. Every small step matters. Every new word, every sentence you understand, and every mistake you make is part of learning. Mistakes are not something to fear. They are your teachers. Each time you notice a mistake and correct it, you become stronger and more confident. Now that we have talked about daily listening and practice, let's go a little deeper. Let's understand how to train your listening skill step by step. Listening is not only about hearing words. It is about understanding sounds, patterns, and meaning all at the same time. At the beginning, English may sound like one long sound or one long song. You may feel that you cannot hear where one word ends and the next word begins. This is completely normal. Do not worry about it. Step by step, your brain will learn to separate the sounds. This is the same way you learned your first language as a child. It takes time, but it will happen. The first step in training your listening is slow listening. Slow listening means choosing audio that is clear and not fast. You can find many slow English podcasts, lessons, or videos made for learners. When the speaker talks slowly, your brain can relax and focus better. You can hear each sound and word more clearly. Choose a short audio, maybe 1 or 2 minutes long. Listen carefully the first time. Do not worry if you do not understand everything. Just listen and enjoy the sound of English. Then listen again and again. Every time you listen, you will understand a little more. Repetition is very important. The more you repeat, the stronger your listening becomes. The second step is focused listening. Focused listening means listening with a clear goal. Instead of listening to everything, you choose one thing to listen for. For example, you can listen for verbs or for numbers or for names of people and places. You can also listen for words you already know. When you have a goal, your ears become more active. Your brain works harder and learns faster. You can also write things down. If you hear new words you do not understand, write them in a notebook. After listening, you can check their meaning. Then listen again to the same audio. Slowly, those new words will start to feel familiar. This is how vocabulary grows naturally. The third step is real listening. After practicing slow and focused listening, you can start listening to real English. This means listening to English used in real life, like interviews, movies, shows, or conversations. At first, it may feel difficult. That is okay. You do not need to understand everything. Try to understand the main idea. Ask yourself simple questions like, who is speaking? What are they talking about? How do they feel? With time and practice, real English will become easier to understand. Your ears will get used to natural speed, different voices, and different accents. Remember, this step comes after practice. Be patient with yourself. Listening is a skill that grows slowly, but it grows for everyone who practices. Keep going, keep listening, and trust the process. You are learning more than you think every single day. Real listening means listening to English from real people. This includes movies, songs, interviews, and everyday conversations. At the beginning, real English may feel difficult. People speak fast, and the language sounds very natural. But this is okay. Do not feel afraid or discouraged. Start with short clips. Choose videos or audio that are only 1 or 2 minutes long. Listen to them many times. The first time, you can use English subtitles to help you understand. The second or third time, try listening without subtitles. This helps train your ears. Little by little, listening without reading will become easier. When you choose movies or shows, always choose something you enjoy. If you like comedy, watch funny scenes. If you like travel, watch travel videos. If you enjoy the content, your mind relaxes. When your mind is relaxed, it remembers better. Learning becomes easier and more natural. Real English is very useful because it helps you learn accents, intonation, and expressions that people really use in daily life. You learn how English sounds in real situations, not only in textbooks. Now, let's do a short real listening practice together. I will tell you a simple story. Please listen carefully and try to imagine the story in your mind. Tom works in a small bakery. Every morning, he wakes up at 5 o'clock. The streets are quiet and the sky is still dark. He puts on his apron and starts baking bread. Soon, the warm smell of fresh bread fills the air. Tom likes his job because he enjoys seeing people smile when they eat his bread. Around 7 o'clock, the bakery becomes busy. People come in to buy breakfast and coffee. Tom talks with them and always smiles. Even though he works hard, he feels happy. He knows that his work helps people start their day in a good way. That was our story. When you listen to short stories like this, try to understand the main idea first. Ask yourself, what is this story about? This story is about Tom, his bakery, and how he enjoys helping people in the morning. After you understand the main idea, you can listen again and focus on details. For example, ask yourself simple questions. When does Tom wake up? What does he do first? What time does the bakery get busy? Listening in this way trains your brain to understand both general ideas and small details. Another great way to practice listening is by using English songs. Songs are very helpful because they are fun and full of emotion. Music makes learning enjoyable. Choose slow songs with clear words. Listen to the song many times. Read the lyrics and try to sing along. Singing helps you improve pronunciation, rhythm, and memory. When you sing, your mouth learns the sounds of English naturally. For example, when you sing a song like Let It Be, You learn common words, clear pronunciation, and natural sentence flow without stress. Learning through songs feels like fun, not study. And when learning feels fun, you learn faster and remember longer. When you sing English songs, you learn how words connect naturally in real speech. Singing is not only for fun, it is a very powerful listening tool. When you sing, you hear the sounds clearly, and your mouth learns how to move. You can even make it a small challenge for yourself. Try to listen to a song and write down the words you hear. Then check the lyrics to see how well you did. This is a fun way to improve listening and focus. Stories and audiobooks are also excellent tools for learning English. When you listen to stories, your imagination works together with your ears. This makes learning stronger and easier to remember. Start with short and simple stories. Children's books are very good for learners because they use easy words and clear pronunciation. You can listen to one short story or one chapter every day. If possible, read the story while you listen. This helps you connect written English with spoken English. When you see the words and hear them at the same time, your brain learns faster. Now, let's talk about vocabulary and memory. Many learners think they need to memorize long lists of words. This can feel boring and difficult, and often the words are quickly forgotten. Memorizing lists is not the best way to learn vocabulary. The best way to remember words is through context. Context means hearing words inside real sentences and real situations. When you hear the same word many times in different stories, videos, or conversations, your brain remembers it naturally. For example, if you hear the word bake in the story about Tom in the bakery and later you hear it again in a cooking video, your brain connects those moments. After some time, you remember the word easily without trying. This is natural learning. So instead of memorizing word lists, focus on listening and reading often. Your vocabulary will grow on its own. When you find a new word, do not only look for the translation in your own language. Try to understand it from the situation. For example, if someone says, "I'm starving," and you see them looking for food or holding their stomach, you can guess the meaning. It means they are very hungry. Guessing from context is a very important skill. It helps you become more independent and confident in English. Another important step is listening to different accents. English is spoken all around the world. People sound different in America, Britain, Canada, Australia, and many other places. English is also spoken beautifully by people from India, the Philippines, Africa, and many other countries. Everyone has their own accent. Do not worry if different accents sound strange at first. This is normal. The more accents you hear, the better your ears become. Try to listen to many voices and styles. With time, your brain will learn to understand English in many forms, not just one. Listening to different accents prepares you for real life. It helps you understand people from many cultures and makes your English learning richer and more interesting. Over time, your listening will become more flexible. You do not need to understand every person perfectly. That is not the goal. The important thing is to recognize that English sounds different around the world. When you hear many types of English, you become more confident. You stop feeling afraid when you meet new people or hear new voices. Always remember this. English is not about being perfect. It is about communication. The real goal is to understand others and to be understood. If people understand your message, you are doing well. Now, here is a small exercise to help you build confidence. After listening to this lesson, try to talk to yourself in English for 1 minute. You can talk about your day, your plans, or how you are feeling right now. It does not need to be difficult or advanced. Simple sentences are enough. Talking to yourself is very helpful because you do not feel shy. No one is listening. You can make mistakes freely. This practice helps your mouth get used to English sounds. It also helps your brain connect ideas with English words. Little by little, your speaking confidence grows naturally. Now, let's talk about listening with emotion. When you listen with feeling, your brain remembers better. This is why stories are such powerful learning tools. Stories make you feel something. When you listen to a sad story, It stays in your memory because it touches your heart. When you listen to a funny story, it makes you smile, and that happy feeling helps you remember. Emotion is a best friend of memory. So when you choose listening materials, try to choose things that make you feel something. It can be happiness, surprise, curiosity, excitement, or even sadness. Feeling makes learning stronger. You can also use your body while learning. Learning is not only for your ears and brain. Your body can help too. Sometimes, when you listen to a story, try to act out what you hear. For example, if the story says, "She opened the window," you can move your hand like you are opening a window. When you use movement, you connect listening with action. This makes learning more active, stronger, and more fun. Now, let's take a small break and do a calm listening activity together. Please relax your shoulders, take a slow breath, and listen carefully. Try to imagine the story in your mind. Anna loves the rain. Every time it rains, she sits by the window with a warm cup of tea in her hands. She watches the raindrops fall slowly from the sky and listens to the soft sound they make. The rain makes her feel calm and safe inside. One rainy day, while she was sitting by the window, she saw a small bird outside. The bird was wet and cold, sitting quietly on a tree branch. Anna felt sorry for the little bird. She opened the window a little and placed some bread outside. The bird looked at her for a moment, then flew down and ate the bread. Anna smiled softly. Helping the bird made her heart feel warm, even on a cold, rainy day. Stories like this are perfect for listening practice. They are simple, calm, and full of feeling. When you listen, do not rush. Just listen, imagine, and enjoy the moment. This kind of listening helps your English grow gently and naturally, one small step at a time. Send the next part whenever you're ready, and I'll continue rewriting it the same way. Anna saw the little bird outside getting wet. She picked up her umbrella and went outside carefully. She held the umbrella over the bird, so it would stay dry. The bird stayed quietly under the umbrella. Anna smiled. She knew she could not stop the rain, but she could make it a little better for someone else. This small act of kindness felt good in her heart. Now, think about that story. How did it make you feel? Maybe you imagined the rain falling, the quiet sound of water, and the small act of kindness from Anna. This kind of listening is more than just hearing words. It connects English with feelings. When your learning is emotional, it becomes more real, more human, and easier to remember. Another important step is to practice listening actively to real people. If you have friends, teachers, or classmates who speak English, don't just wait for your turn to talk. Really listen to what they say. Watch their face and body language. Notice the words they choose and how they respond naturally. This trains your real communication skills. Active listening is one of the most important life skills, not just a language skill. It shows respect, attention, and understanding. Finally, I want to remind you to enjoy this journey. Learning English is not only about rules or words. It is a bridge that connects you with people, stories, and the world. Every new word you learn is like opening a small door to new experiences and opportunities. Be proud of yourself. Every time you listen, speak, or practice, you are improving. Every step counts. Remember, you are not alone. I, Sarah, am here on English Today Journey, cheering for you. Together, we will keep practicing, keep listening, and keep growing. Learning English is a journey, and every step is important. Now, let's talk about using English in daily life. Learning English should not only happen during study time. It should become part of everything you do. You can turn your normal day into a small language adventure without stress or pressure. This way, learning is natural, fun, and easy. For example, when you're cooking, you can listen to a simple English recipe video and follow the instructions. When you clean your room, you can listen to a story, a short news clip, or even one of my lessons here on English Today Journey. When you walk outside, you can listen to English songs or podcasts. Little by little, English becomes part of your life. Your ears, brain, and heart will all practice without you even noticing. The key is consistency. Small moments every day are more powerful than long, difficult study sessions once in a while. Even if you only listen for 10 or 15 minutes a day, your English will grow steadily. The important thing is to make it a habit. Listen, imagine, feel, and connect. That is how real learning happens. Turn every part of your day into a chance to learn English. Watch, listen, repeat, and enjoy the process. This is the path to understanding, speaking, and feeling confident in English. One day you will notice that it is no longer difficult. English will feel like a natural part of your life. When you walk outside, you can try a small practice in your mind. Describe what you see in English. For example, you can say, "The sky is blue. The children are playing. The wind feels nice." This is a small but powerful exercise. It helps you connect listening, speaking, and daily life. English becomes something natural, not something heavy or difficult. Over time, your brain starts thinking in English without effort. If you have a phone, you already have a small English world in your pocket. Try changing the language on your phone to English. At first, it may feel strange or difficult, but soon you will learn many useful words naturally. You will see them every day without memorizing. Words like settings, gallery, camera, message, or update become familiar automatically. These small daily touches strengthen your memory. Even small changes help a lot. You can also listen to English radio or follow social media accounts that share English content. Every small sound, every word, and every sentence you hear adds up over time. Slowly, your brain becomes more familiar with English. This is how learning becomes natural. Little by little, listening becomes easier and speaking becomes more comfortable. Now, let's talk about people around you. Maybe you do not have native English speakers nearby. That is okay. You can still create an English environment for yourself. There are many ways to do this. You can find online speaking partners, join English clubs, or use language exchange apps. These platforms connect you with real people who are also learning English. When you listen and talk with them, you feel how English is used in real conversations.
Don't be shy.
Everyone there is learning just like you. You can start with simple sentences. Say, "Hello, how are you?" Or, "What did you do today?" Even short conversations help a lot. The more you listen to real people, the more confident you become. Real-life English is sometimes faster than lessons. People shorten words, use slang, and change their tone. Don't worry if you do not catch every word. The key is to understand the main idea. For example, if someone says, "Yesterday, I went to the beach with my friends," you may miss one small word. That is okay. You still understand the story. Focus on the important words. Over time, your brain will learn to pick up the key points automatically. This is how real-life listening works. It is more natural, faster, and exciting. It also teaches you how English is spoken in real situations, not only in lessons. The secret is patience. You do not need to understand every word. Understanding the main idea is enough at first. Later, your brain will fill in the smaller details naturally. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Every small effort counts. Listening to English, thinking in English, and speaking in English little by little will create your own English world. Even small daily steps make a big difference in the long run. You do not need to understand every single word to communicate in English. The main goal of communication is sharing meaning, not being perfect. You can make mistakes and still be understood. That is how real English works. Let's practice a small example together. Listen carefully and imagine the situation in your mind. James is at the supermarket. He is buying fruits and vegetables. First, he picks up some apples, bananas, and carrots. Then he goes to the bakery section and buys some bread. At the cashier, he says, "Good morning. How are you today?" The cashier smiles and replies, "I'm good, thank you. Do you need a bag?" James says, "Yes, please," gives the money, and takes his groceries. Before leaving, he says, "Have a nice day." Could you imagine the scene? Could you see James picking up food and speaking politely? This is real-life English. Listening to short stories like this helps you understand how English works in daily situations. You learn greetings, questions, polite expressions, and the flow of real conversations. By practicing a little every day, you start to feel how English is used naturally. You can also practice English by talking to yourself. Many learners think they need a partner to practice speaking, but that is not true. You can listen to a short story or a lesson and then describe it in your own words. For example, after listening to the story about James, you can say, "In the story, James went to the supermarket. He bought fruits and bread. He spoke politely to the cashier." Or you can describe your own day. "Today, I listened to Sarah's lesson. I learned new words. I feel happy." Talking to yourself may feel a little strange at first, but it is one of the most effective ways to improve. You are listening, thinking, and speaking at the same time. Now, let's talk about positivity in learning. Sometimes, learning English can feel slow. You might think, "I've been learning for years, but I still make mistakes." Please don't be hard on yourself. Mistakes are normal, natural, and even beautiful. Mistakes mean you are learning. Even native speakers make mistakes, sometimes. The important thing is to focus on progress, not perfection. Every small effort counts. Every day that you listen, repeat, or speak, you are improving. Every short story, conversation, or practice is like a small step forward. Little by little, you build confidence, skills, and understanding. Learning English is a journey, not a race. The key is to keep going even if progress feels slow. Step by step, day by day, your English becomes stronger and more natural. Remember, perfection is not the goal. Understanding, sharing meaning, and feeling confident are what matter most. With this approach, English will become part of your life. You will feel comfortable listening, speaking, and even thinking in English. You are training your brain to understand, your mouth to speak, and your ears to hear. And every small step you take brings you closer to real English fluency. Mistakes are not failures. They are your teachers. So keep practicing, keep listening, and keep speaking. Every small action counts, and your English journey continues to grow stronger every day. Every time you listen, every word you understand, and every sentence you speak moves you forward. You are not the same as yesterday. You are better today, even if you don't feel it yet. Learning English is a journey, and progress is made in small steps. One of the best ways to stay positive is to notice your improvements. Try keeping a small English journal. Every week, write down what you learned or what you can do now that you couldn't do before. For example, you could write, "This week, I understood a full story without subtitles," or "I learned to say a new sentence clearly." When you look back after a few months, you will see how much you have grown. This gives you motivation to keep going and reminds you that every small step matters. It's also important to reward yourself. If you listen to English for 10 days in a row, treat yourself to something you enjoy. Maybe it's your favorite snack or a relaxing walk. Celebrate your effort. You are working hard, and you deserve to feel proud. Learning English is not only about studying, it's about enjoying the process and feeling good about yourself. Rest is just as important. Learning should make you happy, not tired or stressed. If you ever feel bored or frustrated, take a short break. Listen to music, watch something funny, or do something different for a little while. When you come back, your mind will be fresh and ready to learn again. Learning English should feel natural, like breathing. It should not feel forced. Now, let's do a calm listening practice. Close your eyes if you can, and imagine the scene. Maria lives near the sea. Every evening, she walks along the beach and listens to the sound of the waves. She takes deep breaths and feels the cool air on her face. Sometimes, she listens to English songs while walking. She does not understand every word at first, but she enjoys the rhythm and the feeling of the music. Slowly, she begins to recognize more and more words. One day, She notices that she can sing along without even looking at the lyrics. That small achievement makes her smile. This shows that learning can be calm and joyful. Just like Maria's walks by the sea, you don't need pressure, stress, or fear to improve. You need peace, patience, and consistency. Step by step, little by little, your brain will learn and remember naturally. The secret is to enjoy the process. Listen, repeat, imagine, and connect English with your life. Every day, even a few minutes, adds up. With calm and joyful practice, learning becomes something you love, not something you force yourself to do. When you feel happy and relaxed while learning, your brain remembers more and your confidence grows. So take a deep breath, be patient with yourself, and enjoy every little moment of your English journey. Every word you hear, every sentence you say, every story you imagine is moving you forward. You are improving every single day, and that is something to feel proud of. When you enjoy English, it becomes a part of who you are. Curiosity is very important in learning. When you hear a new word, don't be afraid. Be curious and ask yourself, what does this word mean? Look it up, listen again, and try to use it. Every new word is like a small mystery waiting for you to discover it. Curiosity keeps your learning alive and makes it exciting. Balance is also important. Listening is very helpful, but it works best when combined with reading, writing, and speaking. These four skills support each other. When you listen, you hear pronunciation and rhythm. When you read, you see spelling and sentence structure. When you speak, you practice sounds and build confidence. When you write, you organize your thoughts clearly. Practicing a little of each every day makes your English strong in every way. You don't need to study for hours. Even just 15 to 30 minutes of listening and 10 minutes of speaking every day can make a huge difference over time. Learning English is like exercising your body. Small, regular practice is better than one long session once in a while. Every day adds up, and every small step moves you forward. Remember, everyone learns at a different speed. Maybe your friend understands movies faster, or someone else speaks more fluently. That is okay. Your journey is yours alone. Compare yourself only to yourself, not to others. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Every person learns in their own way, and your path is unique and beautiful. So far, you have learned about daily listening, simple routines, building confidence, and enjoying the process. Now, let's take one step further into something called deep listening. Deep listening means listening not just with your ears, but with your heart and full attention. It is about feeling the meaning behind the words, not just hearing sounds. When you listen deeply, you connect more strongly with English. It stops being just sounds and becomes something you truly understand. Let's practice deep listening together. I will tell you a longer story. When you listen, try to picture the scene in your mind. Imagine the people, the places, and what is happening. Feel the emotions in the story. This way, your brain not only hears the words but also understands the meaning. Deep listening helps you remember better and makes your English more natural. For example, imagine a story about a small village by the sea. There is a little cafe where people meet every morning. The smell of fresh bread fills the air. Children laugh and run along the street. The cafe owner, Mrs. Lee, greets everyone with a warm smile. She knows each person's favorite drink and pastry. When the customers talk, she listens carefully and remembers their stories. One day, a new family moves to the village. They feel shy at first, but Mrs. Lee invites them to sit and enjoy tea. Soon, they feel happy and part of the community. This story is not just words. It carries feelings, actions, and life. By imagining it, you are practicing deep listening. Deep listening trains your brain to understand English naturally. You will notice details, feelings, and expressions that normal listening may miss. Try to listen to one longer story every day. Even if you don't understand every word, focus on the meaning, the feelings, and the overall story. Slowly, your brain will connect sounds, words, and emotions together. This is the secret to understanding English deeply and naturally. Now, I want you to imagine the story clearly in your mind. See the people, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions. Don't worry about every single word. Just focus on the story and the feelings it gives you. This is what we call deep listening, listening with your heart, not just your ears. Ready? Let's begin. Liam lived in a small town surrounded by mountains. Every morning, he walked to a little cafe where he worked as a waiter. The cafe was warm and cozy. You could smell coffee and fresh bread in the air. Many people came there every day, and Liam liked talking to them. He always smiled and said, "Good morning. How are you today?" One day, an old woman came to the cafe. She looked tired but kind. She sat near the window and ordered tea. When Liam brought her tea, she said softly, "You have a nice smile. You remind me of my grandson." Liam smiled again and said, "Thank you, ma'am. That's very kind." They talked for a while about life, family, and the beauty of the mountains. When she left, she said, "Keep smiling, young man. The world needs more of that." Liam never forgot her words. Every day after that, when he felt tired or sad, he remembered the old woman and smiled again. He realized that even small moments of kindness can make life brighter. Take a moment now to think about this story. What did you feel? Did you imagine the cozy cafe, the smell of coffee, or the mountains outside? Did you feel the warmth of the old woman's kindness? This is deep listening. You are not only hearing words, you are understanding and feeling them. When you practice this, your English becomes alive. Words are no longer just sounds, they carry meaning and emotion. You can practice deep listening anytime. Choose short stories or simple videos that touch your heart. After listening, close your eyes and imagine the scenes. Picture the people, actions, and emotions. Then try talking or writing about how the story made you feel. For example, you can say, "This story made me happy because it shows kindness." Simple reflection like this helps you think and express yourself in English naturally. Now, let's talk about long-term motivation. Many learners start learning English full of excitement, but after a few weeks, they feel tired or slow progress makes them frustrated. This is normal. Learning a language is a journey. It takes time, patience, and small daily steps. You don't need to rush. The key is consistency. Even 15 or 20 minutes every day is better than long sessions once in a while. Celebrate your small wins. Every time you understand a sentence, repeat a story correctly, or speak a new word, you are improving. Keep a simple journal to note your progress. Write down what you learned each day or week. For example, today I understood a story without subtitles, or I used a new word in my sentence. After a few months, you will see how much you have grown. Also, remember to enjoy the process. Learning English should be fun. Choose stories, songs, or videos that make you feel happy, curious, or inspired. When you enjoy learning, your brain remembers better, and English becomes part of your daily life. Combine listening with speaking, reading, and writing. These skills help each other. Deep listening, small steps, and enjoyment are your keys. Connect English with your feelings, and learning will feel natural, not forced. With patience, curiosity, and daily practice, your English will grow, and so will your confidence. You are already on the right path. Every day you listen, imagine, and speak, you are improving, even if it feels slow. After a few months of learning English, it is normal to feel tired or lose focus. Every goal in life has moments like this. To stay motivated, you need a clear reason for learning. Ask yourself, why am I learning English? Maybe it is to travel, study, get a better job, or make friends from around the world. Write your reason on a piece of paper and keep it where you can see it. Every time you feel tired, read it. It will remind you why you started. Another way to stay motivated is to find joy in your learning. If you love English songs, movies, or books, use them as small rewards. When learning connects with something you enjoy, It never feels boring. If you love cooking, watch English cooking shows. If you like sports, listen to sports podcasts in English. When your passions mix with English, learning becomes natural and fun. It is also important to look back and see your progress. Maybe you still make mistakes, but think about where you were 1 year ago. Could you understand this lesson back then? Probably not. That shows that you are growing. Growth is not always visible day by day, but it is happening quietly, like a flower blooming slowly under the sun. You may not notice it every moment, but one day you see it. It is beautiful and strong. Another tip is to learn with others. Studying alone can feel lonely, but sharing your journey makes it more exciting. Join online English groups, talk with friends, or even teach someone a small thing you learned. Teaching helps you remember better. When you explain a word or a story to another person, you understand it more deeply yourself. Now, let's do a calm listening activity to practice deep listening. I will tell a short story, and I want you to imagine it in your mind. Sophie loved to draw. Every afternoon, she sat by her window and painted the world she saw. She painted the sky, the trees, and the people walking by. But one day, she ran out of colors. She looked at her paints and realized she didn't have all the shades she wanted. At first, she felt frustrated. Then she remembered something her teacher once said: "Use your imagination, not just your paints." Sophie closed her eyes and imagined the colors she wanted. She thought about the golden sunlight, the soft green of the trees, and the bright blue of the sky. She imagined every detail carefully and then started painting. Her brush moved with confidence, and soon her picture was full of life and beauty. She smiled and realized that sometimes your mind can create more than your tools. Take a moment now to think about this story. Did you imagine the scene? Could you see Sophie painting and imagining the colors? This is deep listening. You are not just hearing the words, you are feeling them, imagining them, and connecting them with your mind. This type of listening helps your memory and your understanding. It also makes learning English more meaningful. Remember, staying motivated in English is about reason, joy, reflection, and connection with others. When you have a purpose, enjoy the process, notice your growth, and share your learning, you will keep improving every day. Combine listening, speaking, reading, and writing in small, daily steps. Every tiny effort counts. Your journey may have slow moments, but with patience, curiosity, and practice, English becomes a part of your life. Just like Sophie's painting, sometimes your mind and imagination create the colors you need, and small steps build a beautiful picture over time. Sophie ran out of colors. She only had gray paint left. At first, she felt sad. "I can't make a beautiful picture with just gray," she thought. Then her father came and said, "Sophie, beauty is not only in colors. It is in how you see the world." Sophie took his advice and started painting again. She used only gray, but added shadows, light, and her imagination. When she finished, the picture looked full of life. She smiled because she realized something important. Creativity is not about what you have, but how you use it. This story gives a lesson for learning English too. You may feel like you don't have everything, no teacher, no fancy books, or no perfect accent. But what you do have, your effort, your curiosity, and your heart, is enough. Learning is not about having perfect tools. It is about how you use what you have. Every small action, every word you listen to, every time you practice, makes you better. Also, remember to forgive yourself for forgetting. Sometimes, you will hear a word or a sentence and later forget it. That is normal. Forgetting is part of learning. When you hear it again, your brain remembers faster. Repetition is not a problem. It is one of the most powerful tools for learning. Now, let's hear one last story for today. Listen carefully, relax, and imagine the scene. Ben loved learning English, but sometimes he felt frustrated. He listened every day, but he still couldn't understand movies without subtitles. One evening, he felt like giving up. He sat quietly, feeling sad. His younger sister came and said, "Ben, remember when you learned to ride a bike? You fell many times, but you got up again and again. Now you ride fast and free." Ben smiled. He understood that learning English was the same. The next morning, he listened again with hope. Slowly, week by week, he understood more. One day, he watched a movie and could understand it without subtitles. He laughed with joy because he realized that his patience and consistent effort had worked. Every small step, every day, had made a big difference. This story teaches us a few important lessons. First, don't give up. Learning takes time, just like riding a bike or painting with gray paint. Second, small daily actions matter. Listening for just a few minutes every day adds up. Third, your mind and heart are powerful tools. With effort and imagination, you can understand more and more, even if it feels slow at first. Remember, learning English is a journey. It is not about perfection. It is about progress, curiosity, and joy. Mistakes are normal. Forgetting is normal. What matters is that you keep trying, step by step, day by day. Every word you listen to, every sentence you repeat, every story you imagine is part of your growth. Finally, make your learning fun and meaningful. Listen to stories that touch your heart, watch movies or videos you enjoy, and practice speaking even if only to yourself. Use your imagination, notice small improvements, and celebrate your progress. Learning English is not just about the language. It is about building confidence, curiosity, and patience. Like Sophie with her gray paint and Ben with his bike, you have everything you need to grow. Your effort, your curiosity, and your heart are enough. Keep listening, keep imagining, and keep moving forward. Every day, your English gets stronger, and every small step brings you closer to understanding and enjoying the language fully. Finally, Ben saw the result of all his hard work. My dear friends, I want you to be like Ben. Don't give up. Even if learning English feels slow, remember that every minute counts. Every sound you hear, every sentence you repeat, every story you enjoy brings you closer to speaking English confidently. English is not just a test. It is a skill that grows with time, care, and patience. It is something beautiful that can open doors to new opportunities, new friends, and new experiences. Before we finish today, take a deep breath. You have listened for a long time. You have practiced not only your ears, but also your heart. You have learned that listening is not just about hearing words. It is about feeling the meaning, connecting with stories, and discovering new things about yourself through another language. I am so proud of you. Every day you choose to learn, you're doing something wonderful. You are opening doors to a bigger world. Remember, progress does not have to be fast to be real. Even small steps add up. Every new word, every sentence you understand, every story you imagine makes a difference. Keep listening, keep learning, and never stop believing in yourself. Speak without fear. Listen with curiosity. Learn with love. Step by step, English will become easier and more natural. Even if you only understand a little at first, it is still progress. You are growing, just like a flower slowly opening in the morning sun. Use what you have learned today in your daily life. Listen to short stories, watch videos you enjoy, and talk to yourself in English. Try to notice new words and how people express feelings. Practice little by little. Remember, mistakes are not failures. They are your teachers. Forgetting is normal. Repeating and practicing makes your brain stronger. Learning English should be joyful, calm, and natural. You do not need to rush or feel stressed. Enjoy every moment. Use your imagination, feel the stories, and connect with the language in a way that makes sense to you. Over time, your understanding will grow, your confidence will grow, and English will feel like a natural part of your life. Thank you for spending this time with me today on English Today Journey. I hope you feel calm, inspired, and ready to continue your journey. Remember, I am here to guide you, to talk with you and to help you learn English in a friendly, easy way. Keep smiling. Keep listening. Keep practicing. You are growing every day. You can do this. And I will see you in our next lesson. Have a wonderful day, my dear friends.